That should be good. What is good, boys? What is good? We should be live. Hoping that we're live. Not a fucking guarantee. Hoping that the mic's working. Usually something will pretty much guaranteed go wrong whenever I go live. But I'm hoping that we're good. The call-in show, everything is perfect. And that we can run some shit smoothly. We are doing the call-in show today. Going to get some of the boys involved. Want to hear about the boys, what they think about UFC 318, what they think about, you know, everything that happened basically yesterday and over like the last week. I do want to talk a little bit about like Jean Silva against Diego Lopez, John Jones retiring, UFC 318. There's a bunch of shit that I want to talk about today. There's a bunch of shit that I think the boys will come through and that we're gonna need to talk about. I'm gonna need to go through and like do all the fucking housekeeping shit really quickly. But like this stream, first of all, if you're here, if you're one of the boys with no reason, like the stream. I'm gonna start getting into like all the boys on the Discord. I will pin the link to the Discord so that everybody's able to get in there and that everybody's able to see and everybody's able to get their chance to call in. The call-in shows are also super, super fun. I fucking love doing the call-in shows when we did it like the last 2 or 3 times. How do you call in? You call in through the Discord. There's a channel in the Discord. I'll come over here and I'll show it. It's called Q for Call-In. Breadman's already in there right now. It's called Q for Call-In. It's literally right here. And then I'll drag you into Call-In Live, which is where I'm going to be, which is where I am right now. I'll drag you into Call-In Live, and then you'll be like talking to the boys, you know what I mean? Then you'll be talking to me as soon as I drag you in. Let me do all the housekeeping shit really quickly. Housekeeping shit, like the stream. Let me tweet out the stream. Let me do everything. Do I need Discord to call in? How can I? You do need Discord to call in. It's all done through Discord. I'm going to put the thing in the YouTube right now to say that we're live. But yeah, no, you need Discord. All you need is Discord and to join that channel. That's literally it. You need Discord and the link to my Discord, which will be pinned. I'm about to pin it right now. I get the invite. Bang. I'm about to pin the link to the Discord so that everybody can see it so that we're all good. Channel dashboard. Over here. Yeah. Bang, bang, bang. We should be good. Where's my shit at? Customization. Where the fuck is the... Why can I not get to the... Oh, here it is. I'm tweaking. But yeah. Should be super fun. The last few times that I've done this, bro, I've loved doing the fucking call-in show. I think the call-in show is one of the most fun things to do because you actually get to hear and talk to all the boys, whereas most of the time, you just don't, like, most of the time I'm just not able to. Most of the time, although I can talk to the boys in the chat, you don't get that fucking, like, full-on, one-on-one kind of talking about it. What's good, Axel? What's good, Mystic? What's good, Polar? What's good, Gitboy? What's good, Devins? What's good, Breadman? What's good, Christopher? Bro, yesterday was insane, bro. Like, even thinking back at what happened yesterday, bro, it's fucking insane, all the shit that happened. It's fucking insane, the event that we just had. We go over here. And bang. And... Okay. Let me put the Discord link in the chat. Link for Discord. Fucking hell, bro. Bro, I hate caps lock. Why is my caps lock on sometimes and not on other times? Link for Discord. Join... Also, if we don't have enough, like if the calls kind of start to get dry or whatever, we can start to do a tier list. I do want to be live for like 1 or 2 hours, probably 2 hours. So we might be able to squeeze a tier list in somewhere. We could do like a striking tier list or a prime for prime tier list. I think that would be pretty fun because I hear a lot of people asking me for like GOAT lists and like GOAT debates and type stuff. I don't really want to do that, but I do like to do like prime for prime lists. I think that like a prime for prime greatest of all time is different to a GOAT list and it's like a little bit more fun. Okay. Pinned in there. Now all I need to do is tweet it out, and then we can start to get right into the boys. Okay, bang. Let's go over here. And call in show live now. Link in bio. Okay, we're good to go. We should be pretty much perfect to go. We do have some of the boys already lined up in the queue. Got Breadman in there. Let me get the headphones on. Where are the headphones? Headphones, make sure I can hear everybody. Make sure everybody can hear you, and we should be perfectly good to go. I'm excited to kind of talk a little bit about the John Jones shit as well, about John Jones and him being like all the retirement, all the shit that happened there. So Oh, I can hear myself. Why can I hear myself? Here we go. There we go. I could hear myself for a second, and it was making me tweet the fuck out. Okay, here we go. Should be good. Desktop, microphone, everything's on. This is over here. Let me get the input device correctly. I'm starting to get a little bit better at this. I'm starting to solve the technical issues that I have every single stream. If I could start solving them earlier, that would be fantastic. That would be absolutely fantastic if I could start to solve some of these issues earlier. But here we go. We're all good. All right. Let's bring Polarman in. Or Breadman in, and then we'll get the Polarman after. Let's bring him in. Let's see what he has to say. Yo, Breadman.
What's up?
What's good, brother? How are you? Good to see you
Doing
again.
alright.
Good to see you again, bro.
Sure.
Happy to be fucking talking to you. What do you want to talk about today? What are you bringing to the table?
Holy smokes! Where do I even start?
It's a good. It's a good start. Where to start?
First off, let's pay tribute to Oliveira.
Charles Oliveira, the fallen one. May he rest. May he rest. I was gonna say rest in peace. He might actually be dead. Has anyone seen footage of Charles? Has anyone seen footage of Charles post KO? I'm not sure. He could still be asleep. He could still be asleep. A fallen soldier.
His eyes rolled back when he got smoked. So I already knew he was already done.
God, tough, man. I don't know what he does, man. I don't know what he does.
Really, that guy.
Bro, he really is. Topuria really is that guy. Where do you think he's gonna finish his career ranked all time? If you're to pick right now, I know that you're meant to come with the question, but shit, now I'm thinking about it. Where do you think that he ranks all time, ilia Topuria?
Let's go ceiling and floor here.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Ceiling, I would say top 3.
Top 3, okay.
Floor, I say top 25, 20.
Top 25 is a floor. I think he might be top 10 already. Like I think he might be top 10 already. I'm trying to think like who would be in and around the top 10 that's competing with him. Are you taking his legacy or Daniel Cormier's legacy? I feel like DC's like top 7, but who are you taking? ilia Topuria or Daniel Cormier? Daniel Cormier's beaten. Daniel Cormier's got some names. Obviously, like Anthony Johnson, Alexander Gustafsson. Yeah. He's got 2 belts. Does have that Derek Lewis win too. Beats Stipe Miocic. But I think like if we compare him and pull him up side by side, him and ilia Topuria.
I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, and I know that
bro, fucking ESPN, bro. Keep fucking every time I load up ESPN, they just pull up some clip. Get them to fucking stop their autoplay shit.
Hey, my stuff's fine.
But anyway, what were you gonna say before I cut you off and ask you the question about ilia Topuria? What were you gonna say? What were you coming with?
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh shit!
I think I was saying something. Then you.
It was. What were you saying? You were talking about you didn't know where to start, and you said something about ilia. You said that ilia is really good or something.
Oliveira.
Oh yeah, the tribute to Charles Oliveira. What do you think Charles Oliveira does next? I think what Charles Oliveira does next is interesting. Where do you think he goes?
I have no clue. His path is literally like.
I think he's ever going to win a title again, but like, do you think that he turns into a? Do you think that he just turns into like a gimmick guy that they put on main cards every once in a while?
Or gatekeeper potentially.
Gatekeeper, man, I'd hate. That is kind of the cycle, though. That is kind of the cycle, though. Where you go like Charles Oliveira goes from like gatekeeper when he's younger, kind of like a little bit fraudulent, gives up, quits and fights, then becomes a UFC champion. Now he cycles back around to becoming a gatekeeper again. It could happen. It could happen. I'd hate that though. I'd hate that. What do you think about the Paddy fight? I saw some people talking about the Paddy fight and him against Paddy.
See, I don't think Paddy's ready.
You don't think Paddy's ready? So you think Charles wins that fight?
I said not Charles. Paddy is not ready for Topuria, in my opinion.
Paddy Topuria. I was thinking Charles Paddy Pimblett. I was thinking like you could go Charles against Paddy Pimblett. Yeah.
Personally, I think Paddy can get it done.
You think Paddy can beat Charles? It's an interesting one. That's an interesting fight. How do you think he beats him? How do you think he beats him? If he does beat him, how do you think he beats him?
If I would have to say, the fight's mainly going to take to the ground. I'll say that.
Absolutely, for sure.
If he overpower him with ground and pound, I would see it. But if Oliveira is still an elite level person or fighter,
he's definitely an elite level fighter.
Can probably get decisions.
Decision. I just can't see that fight not getting a finish. Like I can't see Paddy leaving that fight. See, I don't know, because like I do this all the time with old fighters, where it's like you have old fighters, you have an old guy like Charles, and I think of him as like the Charles that fought Justin Gaethje, the Charles that fought Dustin Poirier. But maybe that just isn't who Charles is anymore. Maybe Charles just isn't that guy anymore, and especially after like the KOs that he's taken, like that ilia Topuria KO can literally like finish somebody's career. That can finish somebody's career where like they're no longer the same fighter at all anymore. So I don't know. I just like I I don't know if Charles will ever be the same.
It's gonna be a tough cookie to swallow.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. That might be one of the hardest ones. Him, bro. All of my favorite UFC fighters have had a rough few weeks. Cody Garbrandt loses to Raoni Barcelos. You have Charles Oliveira going out there and losing to Ilia Topuria. Sean O'Malley lost to Merab. Like, God, it's been an ugly.
Favorites are getting their asses kicked recently,
bro. It's been an ugly few weeks. It's been an ugly few weeks. My favorite fighter. But anyway, brother, I appreciate you coming through, showing love, calling in. Shit, you can rejoin the queue if you come with a take. If you come with something else, Jan Silva, any of that, I'll drag you back in and we can talk again. But I appreciate you coming through, showing love as always, Breadman, brother.
Hell yeah, man. I'll stick around because looks like there's not a lot of people here.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Let me drag him, Polarman. See what Polarman's got to say. Yo, Polarman.
Hey, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. What's good?
Nothing. I'm fucking happy, Ilia.
Happy.
Batman.
Happy. Well, at least there's somebody that's happy, because all I've heard is people that are sad. I didn't like, although people like Ilia, I think that there was pretty much nobody in that fight week that I saw that really wanted Ilia to win that fight, which is kind of fucking insane.
Well, I'm not the oldest MMA fan, so he's like the first prospect that I was able to be like, oh, this guy just submitted
one of my
Bryce
guys.
Mitchell. This guy's gonna be the shit.
Yeah, one of my guys. Yeah, man, they're the fucking ones that hurt, bro. That was like Cody Garbrandt for me, where Cody Garbrandt was on the come up. Bro, imagine my life with Cody Garbrandt. Imagine you see like Ilia Topuria win his last two fights. Imagine now he goes on like a 6-fight loss streak after doing this.
Dude,
that's what my experience with Cody Garbrandt was like. You see the highest of the high. I saw him against Dominic Cruz. He beat the best 135er ever dominantly, and then all of a sudden, like, immediately goes stupid far downhill. And I just
he gives me the vibe of a guy though who's gonna retire after one fight.
I was kind of thinking that.
One and he's gonna.
I was kind of thinking that I think that a random retirement could just come out of him, like he'd just be like, oh well, fuck it, I'm done. Like he does.
I mean, there's maybe. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, dude, there's like one. I think Islam is the only guy who stands a chance against him within a weight class.
Islam fight is so interesting. It's so interesting. Yeah, bro. I want to see it more and more.
Yeah, because Islam, he doesn't close the distance like Charles did. He doesn't just run into the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's ironic, but Islam's going to be the matador in that fight, and if Ilia's coming right for him, those takedowns are going to be there.
Yeah, it's a weird one. That fight is so hard to predict, because I think that fight is just a weird fight in general to look at. Like, because I kind of think to myself, like, well, Ilia did okay against Charles. Although we only saw like one scramble, we only saw Charles really attempt one takedown. Ilia did okay in that, but Charles was able to get a hold of him pretty easily. You know what I mean? Like, Charles was able to get a hold of him and take him down pretty easily.
That leads to the next question, which is like 155 or 170. Because if it's at 170, I think Ilia's going to get bulldozed.
Yeah, at 170. I think, although Ilia does have like insane power, like, how far can his power carry him? That's like the biggest thing in my mind, is like, can his power carry him all of the way? Can it carry him that far to the point where we're like, okay, he could knock people out at 185. He could knock people out at 205, because those 170 pounders are so big.
Well, let's say he could knock out 170 pounders.
Mm-hmm.
Islam has a pretty good chin. And
did get dropped by Volkanovski, though. Did get dropped by Volkanovski.
I think... So with the Volk drop, I think that's more just because he didn't see the shot coming, which is an Ilia special.
Yeah. But a lot of people ain't seeing those Ilia shots coming, and a lot of people go to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, at 170, I just don't see it. The power translating, or he's gonna be built like a fridge at 170. He's gonna look like Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah, he's gonna be big at 170. Like, he might not even have to weight cut to make 170. Like, he might literally come in there just like, because he looked pretty, like, he was in good shape, but you could see he looked pretty like thick at 155, and like the difference in him between 145 and 155 didn't look huge to me. Like, some guys you'll see, like, if you look at, like, I don't know, Charles or somebody at 145, see him at 155, you're like, holy fuck, bro, he looks like he put on, like, 20 kg. He looks huge at 155. But with Ilia, I kind of looked at him, and, like, if you show me two photos of 145 and 155, I might be able to pick the one out. I might be able to go through and look at it and be like, you know, that's the 155 one. Yeah, he said, like, let me pull up the comparison. Like, it's just, like, shoulders, Like, there's not a big difference. And if he went up to 170, I think he's crazy enough to do it.
I think
He's crazy enough to do it.
I can't see it because they're so much bigger, and
Right, like, they're a
he KOs
lot
this
bigger.
one.
Like, thinking about, like,
Like, if he
Shavkat.
KOs this one,
Shavkat's
he KOs.
fucking huge, man. Shavkat's big
Oh,
as
that-
fuck, bro. Joaquin
They have
Buckley,
weight
Sean
classes for a
Brady, they're
reason.
fucking huge, bro. But yeah, no,
Is Buckley big?
Is who big?
He doesn't. Buckley. He didn't seem that much bigger than Usman.
Buckley's kind of one of those people that, like, it almost tricks me a little bit where it's like, oh shit, like, is he actually big or is he just jacked? Where, like, sometimes I'll see him and I'll be like, he's fucking, like, he's yoked. But I'm not sure how actually, to be fair, the same with Kamaru Usman. Like, Kamaru Usman's also pretty fucking huge for that 170-pound division.
Yeah.
Kamaru Usman, like, fought at 185 against Khamzat Chimaev off the couch and was not getting thrown around by Khamzat Chimaev. Like, if that fight goes 5 rounds, Kamaru Usman probably wins that fight. So Kamaru Usman's also a huge 170-pounder. But, like, they're just the type of people that you're dealing with, you know what I mean? They're just the type of people that you're hanging around
They're
with.
huge.
They're fucking massive,
Yeah,
man. Like, they're
Ilia's what,
so
5'6"?
big. Yeah, Ilia's, like, they say 5'8" or 5'7" sometimes, but, bro, the guy's fucking tiny. Like, Ilia was convincingly 2 or 3 inches smaller than Charles with high heels on. With legitimate high heels on, he was legit, like, 2 or 3 inches smaller than him.
Yeah. So Shavkat's 6'2".
Bro, yeah.
Gary is 6'3".
Yeah, like, even if you look at the Ilia Charles face-offs, like, the face-offs, man, he's fucking way bigger than or Charles Oliveira is convincingly a lot bigger than him in the face-offs. Imagine if that's, like, 6'2" or 6'3". But that also does kind of lean into Ilia's game. Like, Ilia's game is to throw that big right overhand and to catch you.
Yeah, but if you're just so much bigger than the guy, you have the range. You can just jab at range.
I feel like that should make sense, and that should make sense against Charles. You know what I mean? That should truly make sense against Charles Oliveira for Charles, who has Charles had like a 5-inch reach advantage or a 6-inch reach advantage on him. Like, he should have been able to just jab and keep in a range. True. Like, the jab, but
that's not a game.
But the jab isn't really anybody's game at 170 either. Like, when you look at the 170-pounders, who's got a really good jab at 170 that's towards the top of the rankings? Maybe Ian Gary, but I think Ian Gary's more of a kickboxer.
Does Bilal have the best jab in the division?
Bilal does not have the best jab in the division. It cannot be Bilal.
Bilal.
It's probably JDM. It's probably
With
JDM. Actually,
Canelo
JDM actually does have a good jab, and he could probably try keep him at range. That would be a fucking unbelievable fight too. People are talking about Islam against Ilia. JDM against Ilia would be fun as well. That, like, boxing matchup.
Yeah, to me, I can't get over the size discrepancy.
Yeah, the size
He's
is
so small for that division.
He is small. He is small.
Well, all right, I got a question for you.
Hit me with it.
319. You got DDP or Khamzat?
Bro, this fight, like the Charles Ilia fight and DDP Khamzat, were the fights I was most excited for going into the year. Before it even said, like, I was more excited for DDP and Khamzat than, like, Tom and John when Dana White's like, it's going to happen. I was like, this fight's cool. And it's like, it'll be fun to see it. But I think it's only cool because John Jones could lose. That's the only reason that it's actually cool.
Yeah.
Like, the DDP Khamzat fight is legitimately... Like, it's going to be chaos. It's like the Charles Ilia fight, but it's a 50-50 fight. Like, going into the Charles fight, trust me, I wanted to believe. I love Charles Oliveira. I wanted Charles to win so unbelievably badly.
Oh, shit.
But
do you know in the back of your head he was going to get KO'd?
I knew that there was a chance. Like, when you look over at the odds and you see this guy's a -400 favorite, you're like, okay, there's a chance he loses this fight. The DDP Khamzat fight is legit a pick'em fight. Where it's like, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Nobody knows what's going to happen. I think DDP's going to win it. I think DDP's going to take it.
Me too.
I think that...
I agree. Go ahead.
Like, the only person that we've seen Khamzat struggle with is Kamaru Usman. And I think that DDP, although the wrestling is not as good as Kamaru Usman's wrestling, I think he's just like a big, thick version of Kamaru Usman. You know what I mean? He's like a bigger, stronger...
Yeah.
Weirder version of Kamaru Usman.
Version of Kamaru Usman.
He's an African version of Kamaru Usman. Yeah. If Kamaru Usman was African, he'd be DDP. That's exactly correct. I couldn't put it any better. So I think that DDP against, like, it's such a fun fight. Can Khamzat Chimaev just take him down? Like, if Khamzat Chimaev can walk in there and just run him down and take him down, Khamzat Chimaev's going to win the fight, of course. But I think
so.
I don't think he can. I just don't see it happening.
You don't think he's going to get the takedown?
Not that first takedown. You know the way like he dove at Robert Whittaker's legs, gets the takedown, and just submits him?
Yeah.
I don't think he does that
Yes.
against DDP. I don't think he does that against DDP.
So my problem with picking fighters like Hamzat is it's not like an MMA fight. It's a
Yeah.
can you get out of the first 3 rounds fight?
Yeah. I'm the very
Right,
same. I
it's
hate picking. I love picking people where it's like the opposite side to that. You know, with Ilia Topuria, where it's like you have to survive 25 minutes against
Yes.
Ilia Topuria. I love picking people like that
Yep.
because like you can literally win the fight at any moment. I hate picking people where it's on the
Yep.
other side and it's like you have 5 minutes to win. If it goes past 5 minutes, you've probably lost the fight. But then
Exactly. He's like RoboCop
Yeah.
with that.
but then again, you look
I don't
at
know if you
Hamzat
remember
Chimaev. He
that
hasn't
RoboCop
done
he
it.
fell apart.
He hasn't like Hamzat Chimaev has done that to everyone. He has done that to the best people on the planet over and over and over and over and over
Yeah.
again.
I don't know. We're dealing with African Usman here, though.
True. We are dealing with the African version of Kamaru Usman.
So, and is DDP just a leagues better on the feet?
I think he is. I do want to see like that Hamzat Chimaev power, because Hamzat Chimaev seems to have like untapped power, where like he just slept Gerald Meerschaert, and Gerald Meerschaert's not like super high level, but like he
Yeah.
does seem to be powerful enough on the feet, not powerful enough to knock out DDP, because DDP actually has a hell of a chin, but it's like
Yeah.
is the like DDP confuses me so much that I think to myself, the counter to DDP is Sean Strickland. The counter to DDP is Israel Adesanya. Yeah, those like clean kickboxers or somebody that has really like good cardio. Could we just be thinking about it
Yes.
completely wrong? And the actual counter to DDP is somebody who does not know how to strike at all. The actual counter to DDP is bad strikers that won't give them the correct reactions. We could be thinking about it all incorrectly.
So I would like to think that, but he did just piece up Strickland.
Yeah, he did. He did cook Strickland that
I
second
could
fight.
beat that. Yeah.
And that's the thing
So-
about DDP, man. He gets better in every fight. Like, every fight you
Yes,
watch
he
him is
does.
so much better. Same with, like,
Yeah, I
Ilia.
don't-
I would say Ilia is the same thing, but you don't see enough of Ilia's fucking fights to actually, like,
No, you
go
don't.
through and see it. Like, fuck me, bro.
'Cause-
Ilia just sends people to sleep, bro.
Yeah. With DDP, though,
Mm-hmm.
do you think he's going to take down Hamza?
Is DDP going to take down Hamza? That's a
I heard
fucking interesting
TJ
question.
and Guru talking about that on their show, and I thought that's interesting because all you have to do is get him tired. So if you're wrestling him on your stage, you're not going to get subbed.
True.
If you initiate the takedown, you're chipping at that gas.
I don't know how good Hamzat Chimaev's guard is. Who knows? Hamzat Chimaev could have the most insane guard ever. The thing is that,
Yeah.
like, with Hamzat Chimaev too, like, when you take him down, although it's probably better than, like, being on the feet, him being able to take you down,
Oh, yeah.
like, Hamzat Chimaev, if he sweeps you and he ends up inside control or mount or something,
Oh,
like, you're in
Yeah.
trouble, bro. You're in big trouble if you get swept by him. And although I think DDP's jiu-jitsu is good, like, his jiu-jitsu is not bad, I think that if you're DDP, you want to stay at, like, kickboxing range. That's where you want to stay. You want to stay at a range where you're safe. But I don't know, because Hamzat Chimaev shoots from so far out. Like, he shot from literally a fucking meter away against against
Yeah.
Robert Whittaker. Like, he shot from so far away to the point where I was like, I don't even know how you counter that.
well, I think there's a few ways to counter that.
What do you think?
And
Let me
that's you hunch over. You do the top Toro stance where you kind of lean over.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah, to get your shoulders in
And-
fast, to be able to sprawl fast.
well, yeah, just you don't even need a sprawl, just like a down block.
Yeah, true.
And then, I mean, another way you can try to set up a kick.
See, this is the thing. I always think, like, to these wrestlers, the big counter is throw the knee, man. Throw the knee. The
But it
knee is the
doesn't
way to
work.
do it. He shoots from so
Yep.
far out, you can't actually knee the guy. Like, you will not be
That's-
able to land a knee on him. You're just not going to be able to land a knee. Because he's too far out
So
of his stuff.
get closer to him.
Yeah, if you
DDP
stepped
can
in.
slug.
If you
Yeah,
stepped in.
DDP
yeah.
just
Maybe that's actually a good thing. Maybe DDP doesn't want to stay at range. Maybe DDP in that fight will think to himself, I'm gonna get into the pocket. Because I actually didn't mind that idea from Charles Oliveira. Although Charles did get KO'd, I thought that, like, the remnants of his game plan were correct. Where a lot of
Yeah.
people are like, I'm gonna jab Ilia Topuria, I want to keep him at range the entire time. I like Charles going in, trying to clinch him, and Charles going in and being like super, super close, super, super uptight in the pocket boxing with him. Because it does kind of take away some of the power from those like big, long, looping hooks that he likes to land and that like nice right hand that he likes to land. If you're just that in tight to the point where like it's like he just can't generate that much power because you're so far away.
Yeah. My thing with Chimaev is, let's say we get close, right? It's obviously we're going to be in the pocket or we're going to be grappling.
Yeah.
We don't know about that gas tank.
Yeah, the gas tank. Well, see, the thing is, it's not even that we don't know about the gas tank. It's different for a guy like Tom Aspinall or like Ilia. We have seen him go 5 rounds, but Ilia, you could kind of say it where you're like, he hasn't been out of the first round because he's finished everybody. We do know about Hamza Chimaev gas tank. We do know that it sucks. We do know that his gas tank just is not good.
Fighters improve, and
True, that is true.
like ragdolling Usman is a lot more energy consuming than ragdolling like what the fuck is he's the Asian welterweight that he fought.
Li Jing Liang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the difference in energy.
Yeah, it is. But then you've got to think if he's going up against DDP, like the difference in energy is going to be pretty fucking crazy there too. Like the difference in energy for DDP, like DDP might be the hardest guy to ragdoll just because he's so big, man. Like he's so big, he's so strong, he does everything so well. Even though he does everything wrong.
So the problem is if Hamzat shows up with 5-round cardio, I think it's wraps.
I'd agree. See, that's kind of like, that's Hamzat Chimaev's big thing, though. You know what I mean? Like, the thing we haven't seen about Ilia Topuria yet is the wrestling. We saw it a tiny bit yesterday against Charles, and there's all of, like, the thing about, oh, yeah, no, Ilia's got really, really, really good wrestling. Trust me. Ilia's got really good wrestling. Like, if Ilia comes out and has Islam Makhachev wrestling, the entire UFC is finished. If Hamzat Chimaev comes out and has 5-round cardio, the entire UFC is fucked. If he can wrestle that hard and be that explosive for 5 rounds, the entire UFC is fucked. So I think that there's like, yeah.
Even for Ilia, this is gonna sound wild. This is gonna sound really wild, but a Sean Strickland style could get him.
I don't
like, just not
hate
engaging.
Yeah, I don't hate that idea. The problem with like Ilia, there's 1 or 2 ways to beat Ilia in my mind. Unless you're like prime John Jones, where you might actually skill for skill be able to beat him. Skill for skill, thinking that you're probably not going to beat Ilia Topuria. You need to have somebody like Charles and have it go the way where Charles manages to spark him or Charles catches him in something. Charles with like a decent chin, which sounds like a fucking mythical fighter. Or you have like that Sean Strickland style. You either need to beat him to the finish and KO him before he KOs you or sub him before he KOs you. Or you need to have somebody that's like 25 minutes, I'm not going to engage, I'm going to grind out a decision. Like Mario Bautista, Jose Aldo, where it's like, I'm going to hold you against the fence for these 15 minutes. You are not going to move.
That sounds a lot like prime Volk.
Yeah.
Like, because Volk, people act like Volk just got killed, which he did, but he won the first round. And if you could just dance around him and...
What's good, Blaze, for you? What's good, Hamza?
Because he's not a volume guy. You're going to out-pepper him.
Yeah. Like, and I still think, like, there's a lot of guys that are at 145 right now that I think in their prime would still be able to stand up to Ilia Topuria. Like, I think Volkanovski, if he doesn't take that Islam Makhachev KO short notice, that fight's a lot different. Although I think Ilia Topuria might be able to find him. Like, Volkanovski took a lot of big shots in his career from big power punchers. It's not like Volkanovski got to where he was at the title and just, like, has, like, this weird, shitty chin. That's not who Volkanovski is. Same with Max Holloway. I think if Max Holloway didn't go up to 155 to fight Justin Gaethje, there's a real chance that his chin could have lasted a little bit longer. Or he could have done a little bit better against Ilia Topuria. So I don't think that Ilia Topuria has like overwhelming power that's going to KO everybody. But I do think that like...
You just have to last.
Yeah. Like you have to find somebody that's going to last.
25 minutes.
And even the problem is Josh Emmett lasted 25 minutes. Josh Emmett lasted 25 minutes against him and but he just got the shit beat out of him for literally 25 minutes.
So the reason I'm going to protest that is because Ilia, he had an interview where he's talking about this, and he's like, if I commit for a shot against Josh Emmett and I fucking miss, he's Josh Emmett. You know,
he's gonna throw something back.
Yeah. So he just you can see him holding back in that fight too, where he's just comfy piecing him up.
Yeah, see, that's not really
I
like.
think, yeah,
I'm not even sure if that's Ilia's style though, because like surely against Charles you would have had something similar. Where like if you miss badly against Charles, especially at 155, maybe Ilia just fucking has the confidence that Charles isn't gonna be able to hurt him. But like Charles will fucking
Yeah.
throw something hard right back at you.
Well, the confidence is different now.
Yeah, true. The
Like,
confidence is
you've
different.
just KO'd. There's a difference between
Volkanovski,
tapping out
Holloway,
Bryce Mitchell
yeah.
and KOing Max. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Islam beats him, and that's it.
Yeah, especially in the UFC right now, bro. I think that there's not a lot of people that beat him right now, man. Like really, we're looking at short numbers. There might
time,
be
there's
2
not.
guys. All time, I'm gonna do a video on this on Harry 101 Bite Size channel, but
Yeah.
I think that like there might be 3 or 4 guys all time I'm picking against him right now. Prime for prime,
Yeah.
like
My
even
take is
Khabib, I
there's
think
one.
fucking yeah, and I don't hate that take. Well, it depends who the one is.
If you shrunk everybody to 155, I think it's only Islam, because we know Jones. Powers is
I was gonna say.
weakness. He didn't fight
See, I was gonna
Ngannou.
say.
He didn't fight. Yeah.
But we don't even know if
Who
Paris
else
is
is gonna fight?
weakness. We just know he didn't fight. Like that's the one like archetype that he hasn't fought. I just think John. See, the thing is with like John Jones, the weakness Ilia Topuria has at 155 is that reach. Is that like I think that he would struggle to get inside against somebody that has a really, really long reach. And there's literally nobody in history that uses their reach as good as John Jones does. Like that's his number one attribute is the fact that he's that much longer than everybody else, has that much further of reach than everybody else. And like you're not going to be able to get to him. Or if you do get to him, you're going to get hit with an elbow.
But his weakness on the feet is his striking. Or not his striking, his boxing. We saw Dominic Reyes outbox him.
But see, I feel like that's a weird John Jones. Like I feel like John Jones was so much better than everybody else in mixed martial arts that if you were Dominic Reyes, if you were just like a guy that they're putting up against John Jones because they want him to get a defense, you're not gonna motivate John Jones. John Jones has to be like, oh, people actually think this guy's good. People actually think this guy's a top pound for pound type fighter. Okay, I'll train pretty hard then. I'll start to train hard from him. I'll start to think that. So I think you get the best John Jones when he goes up against the best fighters.
What John Jones are we using then? Because we have to pick one who exists.
I think you go Jones DC2 or Jones.
He's on steroids, man.
Yeah, but most of them are on steroids, bro. Or you could go Jones Gus too. You could even go a little bit further back and go Jones Rampage.
I'm down with Jones Rampage, but
And I think that's like a somewhat similar archetype where it's a guy that probably shouldn't be at 205. Like Rumble's probably a 185 or jumping up to 205.
Yeah.
Rumble was a little bit juicy, had crazy power, had like one punch KO power and was knocking everybody out. I think that John Jones has a similar thing in terms of like the Ilia Topuria matchup.
I just think because what's John gonna do? Wrestle? That's his strat.
I think John could submit him. I think John could submit him. Definitely.
Do you think Islam could submit him?
Yeah. I think if Islam can get to like Islam, the one fucking problem with Islam is that like we saw Dustin Poirier be able to defend his back attacks. Islam could do the same thing that John Jones does, where he goes, Dustin Poirier just fucking lost to Justin Gaethje, who the UFC won't let me fight because they think it's too easy of a defense. So Islam could have the very same thing in the back of his mind, like, bro, there's no fucking way that this guy's gonna beat me.
That's what I thought.
I kind of thought something similar.
And so the thing with Islam and his wrestling is they're cage wrestlers, right? They do better up against the cage. What Khabib would do is he would just put his head down and barrage forward like a boom.
Yeah, bro, Khabib gets slapped. In my eyes, Khabib gets slapped. I think that Khabib just gets hit with like a clean 1-2 and just goes to sleep.
But the point here is that Islam's got to take him to the cage to get that wrestling started.
I think the clinch would be where Islam thrives. Charles got him in the clinch pretty easy.
Poirier got put. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
You move Ilia to the cage because the only reason Dustin defended Islam is because they're in the middle. The second any of them get to the cage, he's just gonna get them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
so.
That's a tough
You
one.
have to just clinch him up.
I think they clinched him
And
up
pray.
is the way
You
to
have
do
to
it.
lay and pray.
Yeah, clinch him up
Yeah.
and pray that he doesn't smoke you. Anyway, Polarman, I appreciate you coming through, bro. I always love fucking talking to you, but you always come with
Yep.
some fucking shit. You always come with some real shit. And you know what you're
Oh,
talking about, too. There's no bullshit with Polarman, you know what I mean?
I got one more take before I go. You don't have
Yeah.
to respond to this.
Yeah, let me hear it really quick.
Cody
Let me hear it.
Garbrandt is better than he's ever been right now. He was just
And that's
asked the whole time.
Polarman, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Polarman. I nearly kicked him after he said that shit, man. That was fucking insane. That was absolutely insane. There's absolutely, like, there's no way you could even come close to saying that. Yo, Dylan, what's good? Dill,
Hey, what's going on?
what's good, brother? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm fucking enjoying myself. I'm doing as good as I can right now.
Oh yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, first off, man, what a card.
Yeah, but that was exceptional. Do I
Yeah,
think
man, that
Armin is
was
truly a
great.
nightmare matchup for Ilia? No.
Everyone was showing out, and you know, the person that I thought surprised everybody that hadn't really been talked about yet is Peyton Talbot.
Yeah, Peyton
Man,
Talbot.
he really improved.
Man, he looks so good, bro. He looks
Yeah, I thought Lima
so
was gonna
good.
smoke him.
I thought
I really
I
did.
thought the exact same thing. I thought that the Felipe Lima was gonna smoke him. I thought that Felipe Lima was gonna I just thought Felipe Lima was legit just a better fighter than him. But Peyton Talbot looked good, bro. Like his takedown defense looked super fucking good. Everything that he did looked great.
Yeah, Barcelos embarrassed him, and I guess that lit a fire under him or something because he looked like a completely different fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that like him looking like a completely different fighter was probably due to that embarrassment. And I'm not sure how hard he trained for that Ronnie Barcelos fight. Like, I think people think fighters are like robots where they're going to train super hard no matter who they're fighting. But I feel like if you look at the odds and they're like, you're a minus 3,000 favorite, how the fuck are you going to train as hard as if you're an underdog or as if it's a pick 'em fight? You know what I mean? And people are picking you to lose. Like, I think that he took Ronnie Barcelos like not seriously, and I think that happens a lot with undefeated fighters too. Like, I think if you lose outside the UFC, you're going to train hard for every fight once you're inside the UFC. But if you've never taken a loss outside the UFC, like, there's just not that many. Like there's just, you don't have that reason to think like, holy fuck, I can get beat. You just think you're going to smoke everybody and none of the fights are going to be close.
Yeah, I think that loss was for the better of him. I think it's gonna make him better.
Yeah, I agree too. I think it was absolutely for the better of him. Could be the best thing that ever happened to him.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was
to get humbled.
Night and day difference. Night and day difference.
What do you think about the Pride Month buff? Do you think he should only fight in Pride Month now?
Oh god. Yeah, that's probably gonna work for him.
Do you think that's the thing? I think that's a real thing. Listen, he goes to the Pride Parade. He comes back from the Pride Parade and he smokes somebody. And he smokes somebody that's probably a lot better than him. He could have some fucking like satanic shit going on. He could have some fucking voodoo shit going on.
Oh yeah. They channeled their energy to him.
Yeah. What do you think his ceiling is? What do you think his like? Where do you think he is at his peak? Do you think he become a UFC champion?
If he continues with better anti-grappling stuff like that, I don't see him becoming a champion still because they said that like on his come up otherworldly striker and stuff like that but he really wasn't showing out too much in his striking against Lima, but
the grappling just looked a lot better.
Yeah, it just looked a lot better, and I think that kind of threw off Lima's game plan. I think Talbot, I think he could be a top 5 gatekeeper.
Yeah.
And he might get a title shot depending
on like a weak division or something. Polarman said that he didn't smoke him. It was 2-1. How did you score it? How did you score the fight? Did you score 2-1, 3-0? Because I was kind of like, I was super lukewarm on that first round. I had no idea who won that first round. Like, I thought that first round was super 50-50.
I said that Talbot won was it 1-3, but I said I think he might be able to convince a judge to give him round 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought
Or no,
I
I'm
thought it
sorry. You
was
know what? That was Van. That was the Van fight.
yeah. I thought he won.
Yeah.
I thought the Peyton Talbot won 2 and 3, and you could give him 1. So I thought it was pretty close to what you said, where like he won 2 or 3. Like there's an argument for him to have won all 3. There's an argument for Felipe Lima to have won round 1, and I think really like it kind of depends on how you watch fights, like what you're scoring in fights. Depends on who you're giving those like first 2 rounds to, which kind of sucks because there's no like in other sports, if the ball goes in the basket in the NBA, you get 2 points, you get 3 points. Like
Absolutely.
in the UFC, it's super subjective, and that kind of changes it.
Yes, that's why I was saying like in the Van fight, I thought it was pretty clear 1 and 3 to Van, but during round 2, Royval outstruck him by a pretty decent margin.
Yeah,
But Van was landing the harder shots, So I was telling some of my friends he might be able to get one judge to swing his way.
Polarman comes through and says fucking Cody could beat Peyton Talbot. Cody Garbrandt against Peyton Talbot. Who wins?
At the moment, I think Peyton Talbot, but
Peyton Talbot, man.
It's
They
just,
better not. They better not give Cody Garbrandt Peyton Talbot. I'm gonna be seriously fucking. I'm gonna have a real issue with Dana White if they give him Peyton Talbot. He just lost.
man.
Well, to be fair, he just lost to the guy. Is there a chance that they just run back the Raoni Barcelos fight? And are like, yeah, fuck it, let's just do it again. You know what I mean? Like this is pretty much the only blemish on his record. He's done it.
I think that might come maybe after another win or 2.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that his grappling really is improved and not just Pride Month powers.
The Pride Month powers is legit, man. That's legit. He looked scary in Pride Month, bro. I thought 100%. I thought he was gonna walk out with the gay pride flag. I did think he was gonna do that. Has he actually come out as gay, or do people just think he's gay? Like, because there was
people just think he's gay, but I mean, I could be wrong on that one.
Because there's the whole Frank Ocean video where he's like naked in a Frank Ocean video. I thought that was pretty much like he didn't. I'm not sure he put up like a Twitter post being like hashtag I'm LGBTQ or something, but I thought that was like pretty much as close as it gets.
Yeah, pretty much as close as it gets without saying it. But
Yeah.
who knows?
Like if you're naked in front of Frank Ocean with only you and him there, I feel like it literally like it. You don't even need to come out at that point. People should just kind of put 2 and 2 together. Yeah.
Yeah, and so with Topuria,
Yeah.
the guy's a super villain. He's
Bro, he might be like, I'm not sure if he's like an antichrist person or he's the savior of the UFC.
he's so good, man.
He's unbelievable. He's literally unbelievable. He's the
Yeah,
he's the most fighters you can think to yourself, that guy's got a weakness. I'm not sure what Topuria's weakness is. Do not know what Topuria's weakness is. What do you think his weakness is? If you were to pick out one thing to beat him, we talked a little bit, me and Polarman were talking a little bit about the clinch as the way to beat him. But do you see anything else? Or do you think the clinch?
I think if you get him on the ground, someone like Makachev might be able to do something on the ground, right? Because Oliveira, he almost got his heel.
I saw that, bro. I saw that
while they were grappling.
I saw that,
But
and I thought to
I
myself,
could tell from that first exchange, Topuria, I saw that power was translating,
Yeah. And the problem with him grabbing the heel, because that's like all of these thoughts kind of spin through my head where I'm like, oh, maybe if you get somebody that's like an elite submission grappler, he might be able to get him. You know what I mean? He might be able to catch his heel or something and be able to beat him. But he went up against Ryan Hall. Like, Ryan Hall's pretty much that.
Yeah.
And he is kind of small and his striking is not good. But like, Ryan Hall is the guy when it comes to like, if you want somebody to jump on a leg and attach to a leg, yeah, Ryan Hall's your man to do it.
Yeah,
and he smoked him.
I think pretty much only Makachev is the only one who's got a shot at getting him. I mean, and I think even then, it'd probably have to be Topuria going up to 170 to chase him for that to happen because he's just so good.
Yeah, I think that like Makachev is really the only matchup that people want to see, which is kind of crazy because like 155 is like one of the most stacked divisions inside the entire UFC.
Absolutely.
Like you have Dustin, Armin, Paddy, Justin, Charles. Like you have all of these elite guys at 155, and everybody's like, yeah, he smokes all of those guys. We only want this one guy that's the pound for pound number one.
Yeah.
It's
I
ins-
mean,
it's
unless
incredible.
Armin is able to wrestle fuck him over the course of 25 minutes,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's gonna be able to have a shot.
I think Armin has more of a chance than people think. Because, like, if you go back and you think about that, Armin, I think if Armin finished Charles, people would be a lot more likely to say, like, oh, yeah, Armin could do it. But, like, the Armin fight when he fought against Islam Makhachev, the first one, and yes, that was ages ago, and both of them, like, are way better now. But, like, he was able to grapple with Islam. He was able to grapple with Mateusz Gamrot. So if the path to victory for anybody against Islam Makhachev is simply just the fact that you can potentially take him down, you can potentially do what you need to do, then yes, you could. Like, I think that there's a way that Armin Sarukian is someone who could beat him. But fuck, I don't know, man. I think it's the striking is the problem.
Yeah, Ilya is so good at getting to the inside. I mean, like, everyone says, like, everyone has a reach advantage on Ilya, but it doesn't matter because he just gets to the inside and
Yeah.
does what he does,
Yeah.
I think Oliveira had, 3 inches on him?
Barry had more, I
3
think.
inch reach?
I think he had about a 5-inch reach advantage. I'm going to look it up really quick, but I think he had like a fucking long reach advantage on him. And I don't think it mattered because I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that stat. Like, as they were going into the main event, they popped up some stat being like, fighters with a 6-inch reach advantage win 60% of the time or something. And I was like, maybe Charles has something there. But,
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't matter. Ilya just gets on the inside and
man, he's like,
he's just a touch of death.
and it's crazy because, like, he literally put Charles out with one shot. Yeah, Ilia Topuria has a 69-inch reach. Charles Oliveira has a 74-inch reach. So Charles had a
Oh my goodness.
5-inch reach advantage on him. 5-inch reach
Yeah.
advantage on him, and it just did not matter. It did not matter at all.
Yeah, no one's able to keep their distance between them. I mean, it's ridiculous. Do you think that there's a path to Ilya versus Islam anymore, or do you think that fight's just never going to happen?
I think if you put the money on the table, there's a path. So you just said that Armin doesn't have the submission threat. I don't think. See, do you think you can beat Ilya via decision, or do you think that you're gonna have to finish him?
I think if you have a super high level wrestler with a good chin, you can beat him decision.
Yeah,
But that's
it's
few
a
and far
lot.
between.
It's like that's a lot. To answer your question about can we see the Islam fight? I think that like with enough money on the table, with enough hype, you can absolutely do it. And I'm kind of hoping that Dana White's a little bit scarred by this John Jones Tom Aspinall saga, because the John Jones Tom Aspinall saga, I'm pretty sure at least what happened was John Jones said, "Give me this money that I want." Dana said, "We're not giving you this money that you want." Then 6 months later, Dana goes, "Okay, fine, we'll give you that money." And John Jones now goes, "No, now I want more money because you've taken 6 months to give me this bread."
Yeah.
And Dana goes, "Okay, fuck, this is the biggest fight inside the UFC. I'm not fucking around with these fights anymore. Here's a bag. Let's have you two guys fight."
Yeah,
And
I'm thinking. So I think there's a time crunch on it, right?
Yeah.
Because Ilya said he wants to be out hopefully by 30.
Which is
and
insane.
Islam says he probably has about
That's fucking
three
insane.
fights left. Or was that his coach? One of them said that they have around 3
No,
fights left.
yeah, I'm pretty sure his coach said that he doesn't have that much longer left, that he has like 2 or 3 fights.
Yeah, so I'm thinking if they each get around 2 defenses or something like that, maybe as like a retirement fight for both of them.
Bro, that's so
Ilya
insane.
tries to go up to become the first
God.
triple champ.
Yeah, he
And
could
then-
be. He could do it too.
Yeah, Islam tries to get that would be the biggest fight of his career.
Bro, imagine we had it where like there's an alternate universe where Ilya is fighting Bilal Muhammad for him to get triple champ status, and can just absolutely kill the guy. Like, and just actually send the guy to the nether realm. So we're lucky that we're living in that. To be fair, Ilya is the only guy right now. Like, Islam Makhachev, although people think that he can become the GOAT, and I think, yes, there's a path, I'm not sure how likely it is. I think if Ilya actually continues to fight, like if he fights till he's like 35 or something, man, there's a good chance that he could become the greatest fighter of all time. Like, there's a good chance.
I think so too. I mean, he has the names on his record. 3 straight legends.
Yeah.
Like at worst, if you're lowballing Oliveira and Holloway, top 20.
Yeah, like he already has.
Live off.
His names are already fucking ridiculous. The people that he just has on the schedule, like they're pretty much all top 20 fighters all time. Holloway's a top 20 fighter all time. Charles is a top 20 fighter all time. Volkanovski's probably like a top 5-ish fighter of all
I
time.
have him at my 5.
Yeah, I think that like that is a ridiculous way to start your career. Like it's better than the way Conor started, where Conor like
Yeah.
Eddie Alvarez was good. He's underrated. I think that Eddie Alvarez is still underrated by people now. People kind of only know him because Conor beat the shit out of him. But like Eddie Alvarez was good, and Conor absolutely smoked him. But he wasn't Charles Oliveira good. Like he was not that good. To the point where like people consider him to be like the go to their division or something like that. Then you look at Aldo. Aldo and Volk are super similar wins for me. Where it's like Aldo, Volkanovski, they're 5 and 6 for me on the
times, you know.
Yeah, on the go tier list, and they both got dispatched of pretty fucking easily. Although I do think that Conor beat what's close to a prime Jose Aldo. Ilia Topuria beat Volkanovski off a loss, kind of short notice. There's that kind of different type of thing.
Yep.
But even then, like, Conor never defended 145. Conor never defended 155. Like, I think that there's a new fucking sheriff from town.
Yeah. What performance do you think was more impressive against Max? Ilya versus Max, or
We are, Caesar, bro. We are.
Max Volk 3?
I think Max Volkanovski 3 or... See, I'm kind of a sucker for people that like 25-minute dominations. But then again, I also think to myself, like, I kind of think to myself and I sit here and I go, Max Holloway's never even been knocked down before in his UFC career prior to that Ilia fight. Prior to that Ilia fight, he'd never even been knocked down. And he gets fucking slapped.
On a masterclass, but, you know, Max has been in the UFC for, what, 15 years?
Yeah.
And never even knocked down, and Ilya, you know, beat him.
Fought at 155, fought at a bunch of divisions, like fought at... Like, it's not even like he hadn't fought any power punchers. He'd fought elite power punchers that had never gone down.
He just knocked out Gaethje, you know?
So I feel like almost for that fact alone, you might have to go there and say that it's the Ilia Holloway performance. Even though I think that... See, but that's kind of crazy. Because when I start to think that and I start to like say about that in my mind, I think that Volkanovski Holloway is like almost the top 3 performance of all time. Like, I think that's right up there with, like, Conor McGregor against Eddie Alvarez, where it's, like, just a perfect performance, just pitch-perfect performance.
Anderson Silva versus Forrest Griffin.
Yeah, like...
in the zone, can't do anything wrong.
Yeah, like one of those fights where it's like, there's probably nobody alive that beats him on that day, or the other guys in the bracket. So if I think that Ilia performance against Holloway is better than that means he's got to be in that bracket of, like, is that one of the greatest performances ever? Probably, like, I'm not sure I can say that. I can say that. So I'd probably go.
I had Holloway winning round 2.
Yeah, I'd probably go Volk Holloway 3 as that being the better performance. I think that's close though. It's really, really close.
Yeah, and where would you put Ilya all time now?
This is an interesting question. Where do I put Ilia Topuria all time right now?
Yeah, because you know, like I was talking to a guy in the Discord. I think it was last week.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about DJ, right? You know, I have DJ at my 3. You know,
Yeah.
He beat a lot of cans.
Perfectly acceptable.
You know,
Yeah.
but a lot of cans, you know.
He did beat a lot of plumbers. It's kind of like DJ's, like, the UFC, even though, like, DJ fought at the same time as GSP or John Jones or, you know, like, whoever you want to talk about, I feel like you have to look at that as, like, the division is, like, that's not the division that 205 was at the time. You can't compare a John Jones, DC, Gustafson, Anthony Johnson, like Ryan Bader division to who DJ was fighting. So I feel like DJ's almost got to be in like the same bracket as like those early ass UFC fighters, like the 2006, 2007 UFC fighters. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, like, if you look at his win, he has a few good wins. You know, like Cejudo, great win.
Yeah.
I always think Benavidez is a good win.
Benavidez is definitely a good win.
Yeah, but outside of that,
the names kind of start to dry up. The names do kind of... See, I kind of have to stop myself. Like, I do go through 2 things and 2 thoughts of mind when I'm thinking about this. Because I think to myself, first I go, well, okay, yeah, the names are kind of shit. But it's like, it's hard to look at those title defenses out of context because I was 7 years old and 8 years old when he was fighting these guys. That's like, I don't know how hyped up that guy is. I don't know how good people thought that he was as a prospect. Because there's some names that people are going to look at and like 10 years inside the UFC, like you can kind of start to see it right now, where people look at like Chad Mendes. Like Chad Mendes was really good. Chad Mendes was like, people were talking about as like the guy to be Conor McGregor because he's a wrestler, you know, like really like trains with Uriah Faber, trains at a good gym, has beaten good guys. But like if you kind of talk about Chad Mendes right now, people are going to be like, that guy's a bum, that guy sucks. Like that name on Conor McGregor's resume does not get brought up as a good name. So I'm thinking like, is that just it being with time? Like even if you look at fighters now, I'm trying to think of a fighter that didn't win the belt that doesn't have like a super huge name. I don't want to say Poirier because I think that Poirier's got a big enough name to where people respect him or will respect him in a few years. But like, who's a guy that was top 3 in the division that never really got the respect that they deserved, or right now doesn't get the respect that they probably deserve as a top 3 guy? Say, well, actually, the easiest thing to do was like that 170-pound division. Out of like Shavkat, Sean Brady, Ian Gary, like out of that division, whoever doesn't become champion, because one of them probably won't become champion, they're gonna get looked at in like 10 years, and people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that guy was a plumber. Like that guy's shit. Like that's not like that's not a real fight." When we know how good they are.
Yeah, and also with DJ, I think he kind of suffers that he was better than everybody else. You know, it's not his fault. You know,
Same with
it's
Anderson
the
Silva.
thing that Tom Aspinall is going to have to go through. You know, he's leaps and bounds better than everyone else, and they're always going to hold it against him.
Yeah,
you know?
because he had no competition. Going back to your fucking
fault,
going back to your original question about the Ilia Topuria thing, I kind of fucking forgot about it halfway through. Most of the boys are saying 8, top 10, number 8. Does he crack top 10 all time for you? If you're going through it, does he crack top 10 all time?
Man, he's close. He's right there. So I have like in that same like top 10, I have like Khabib and Stipe, Usman, all those guys. I have them,
Khabib,
like,
Stipe,
right
Usman,
there between like 8 to 12. All those. I think you can slide him in there, no problem. You know, just look at the quality.
I
of his
definitely
wins,
don't think you're crazy. I definitely don't think you're crazy. If you start to slide people in there like that, like when we're just going like resume and names, like what name on probably like what name that Kamaru Usman has beat, what name that Kamaru Usman got a defense against is better than any name Ilia Topuria's beat. Like, does anybody? Like, I'm trying to think who are Kamaru Usman's defenses against? Gilbert Burns, Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington
twice, and Covington twice.
Like, I'm taking any of Ilia Topuria's defenses over those. Yeah, I'm taking a Volkanovski win, I'm taking a Holloway win, and I'm taking a Charles Oliveira win. I think that the worst guy Ilia Topuria has probably fought against, which I hate to say it, but all time it's probably Charles is the worst guy that Ilia Topuria has like defended against or fought for a belt against. Like, that's probably the best guy. Like, that's the best name that Usman has on his list. So that means he is top 10. Yeah. Then we start to kind of go up the list. Stipe, he's better than Stipe all time.
Oof. Wow.
That's tough, bro. I feel like Stipe's disrespected.
Over Stipe, you know, I mean,
DC's a good win though. DC, like, this is tough because
DC are good wins. Ngannou won. That's a
good
win.
Yeah, the Ngannou one's a great win. I feel like that's underrated too now. People like don't think about that as like, bro, Ngannou was like the scariest fucking guy in the entire UFC going into that fight, and Stipe was like, yeah, this hype's kind of fucking unwarranted.
Yeah, and also with Pantoja, you know, getting his 4th defense, he's got to be starting to creep up people's all-time list now, you know?
Bro, Pantoja's got to be, like, I think he's got to be probably top 10. I think Pantoja's got to be in that conversation too. Bro, it's crazy.
Pantoja or Ilia all time.
Bro.
You know, if they're also, you know, top 10's getting crowded.
Bro, I was literally just about to say that, bro. Like, the fighters that I've loved in the past where someone was like, is Kamaru Usman a top 10 fighter all time? And I'm like, of course Kamaru Usman's a top 10 fighter all time. Like, what are you talking about? Yes, Kamaru Usman's top 10 fighter all time. Now when I start to look at it and I go like, top 10 is only 10 people. Top 10 can't be 15 people. It's like, is Pantoja top 10 fighter all time? If Ilia is creeping in, who does Ilia kick out? Who does Ilia push out? You have guys that are kind of like on the outside bracket that I used to always talk about. You have like Adesanya. Is Adesanya top 10 all time? Like, is Ilia better than Adesanya?
I'd probably leave him closer to top 15. But
bro, and you look at Izzy's wins, bro. Like, Izzy beat Alex Pereira, Cannonier. He like wiped out a whole division. Yeah. See, Adesanya's in a weird spot because now that I'm like really fully thinking about it and going into my head, I think you have to put Adesanya and Pantoja right beside each other as guys that like wiped out their division. Like Izzy wiped out 185 before the
it's
first Alex Pereira loss. He wiped out 185.
yeah, and I think guys like Dominic Cruz are
Yeah.
getting kicked lower and lower.
Yeah.
You know, because that
Yeah.
Dominic Cruz is always someone I put in that range. But like,
Yeah,
say
Marab.
like
Like
Marab is, you know, I think he's the bantamweight GOAT now.
yeah.
You know, so he already knocked Dominic Cruz down a peg.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Pantoja, Ilia.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're
Yeah, and
Oh,
Messi,
man.
Messi just said the old head fighters are getting kicked out of the list, which is why I think it's so difficult because like you don't want to kick out older guys that were in the UFC, like you know what I mean. Like I feel like it's hard to kick out a guy like say like Dominic Cruz that was super dominant before a lot of people were even fans of the UFC,
yeah.
but
And then
like
a lot of his time was in the WC.
yeah, and like Fedor, guys like that, like where does Fedor end up on the list? Like Fedor's got one of the craziest win streaks of all time. Is he top 10 all time?
You know, but as far as like a UFC GOAT list, you know,
Mhm.
Fedor, you know, all
Yeah,
his stuff
yeah,
is,
yeah. I
you
feel
know,
like UFC and MMA has to be different lists.
Yeah.
UFC
Yeah.
and MMA have to be different lists.
Yeah. You might need to make an updated video about an all-time list.
It's true. I
All
might
this
need to
movement
do it,
going
bro.
on.
That top 10 is fucking difficult now.
Yeah.
That top 10, I would be sitting there for a long time thinking about like, is it him? Is it him? Yeah, but he's done this, but he's done that. Most of the boys say Merab top 15, possibly top 10. What do you think Merab has to do to get into the top 10? Because now the bracket's just getting higher and higher and higher. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
because like Merab's
Merab might be cracking top 10 already, but I mean, I think if he
Really?
gets another defense, he's easily in there, you know?
really. I was about to say,
so.
I was actually gonna go along the line of something different. Where I think Merab, like the names Merab has, don't really compare to the names other people have at 135 or like inside that top 10. Where like the Sean O'Malley twice. I love Sean O'Malley. I'm not sure where the rest of Sean O'Malley's career is going to go from here because he's so afraid of getting taken down. Like every time you see him, it's like, Jesus Christ, bro. Like this guy refuses to actually throw his hands as soon as
It was affecting him
As soon as
enough
the
to
guy
where
can wrestle him a
Marab was
little
winning
bit.
some of the striking exchanges, you know? And
Like-
that shouldn't be happening
Yeah.
to Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, should never happen. So it's like the Sean O'Malley one. I'm not sure if that's going to age well or age badly. Then you look at the Umar one. The Umar one I think should age well, but like he beat Cejudo. He beat a bad Cejudo. That Cejudo's gone on to lose to like Song Yadong, basically quitting that fight. He's beat Piotr Yan. The Piotr Yan's a good defense, but it's not something like you can't put Piotr Yan up there when you're like, he's a top 10 fighter of all time. He beat Piotr Yan. I don't think you can really use that name to like further his career. The Aldo one,
Yeah.
it's a super old Jose Aldo. Like Jose Aldo hasn't looked great. So I think it's actually going to be difficult for him to get like the names that he needs to.
Yeah, but once you think of like, say, like the history of 35, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have Dom Cruz, you know,
Yeah.
up pretty high. You can't. He's never gonna fight Aljamain because you know they were teammates, and then Aljo moved up.
Would have been a great fight, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know it's hard for him to get better names on his record. You know, he beat
Yeah, it's
just
not.
about every
It's not
champion
easy.
that there is.
And-
35,
And there is kind of the
chance,
whole thing too of like there is kind of the whole thing too of just because he's the GOAT of the division, does that mean he has to be top 10 all time? Like because he's the
necessarily.
135 pound GOAT, does that mean that he has to be top 10 all time? Or are we having
No,
like 3 205ers in there? Well, I suppose
I
DC
wouldn't-
and Sean are
yeah.
both in there, yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna say DC and John are both of them go over a Marab. You know,
55. Bro, you know who's someone that's going to be getting pushed out, at least of my list, or close to getting pushed out of my list, and I think people are going to really not be happy with it? Khabib.
is that?
I think Khabib's getting
Yeah.
pushed out of the top 10. I think that
Yeah.
Khabib is like, where like, when we
He
start to
didn't do
look
it
at,
long enough, you know.
yeah, and we start to look at Ilia, you start to look at Merab, you start to look around and you go, like, the McGregor win is a good win, I guess, but I think that one's aged pretty badly. The Gaethje win, it's not a name that jumps off the page. Like, it's not a name where you're like, oh shit. The Dustin Poirier win, another win where you're like, I don't know, not great.
Yeah,
and then who
there's
else does he
some
beat from
wins
there?
That were very hyped up at the time.
Yeah.
That just aged terrible, and that goes across for like a bunch of fighters. Like for
Mhm.
Usman, you know, Covington. At the time, that was looked at as
Yeah.
a very good win. But it's like the longer Covington's career goes on, the worse those wins look for Usman. You know.
Yeah, there's
Same
some
with
people that get
Masvidal.
kind of fucked by that. Yeah, like Usman's wins have aged terribly. Like the Masvidal one where he smokes Jorge Masvidal in 1 round. It's like that's a great win at the time. Wow, he just did that to Jorge Masvidal, and now you're like, why the fuck was Jorge Masvidal getting a title shot in the first place? Same with kind of like Colby Covington. Yeah, I don't know. I think that Khabib's probably slipping out of that top 10 and pretty fucking
Yeah,
quick.
I think so too. If he did it for longer, then if the beginning of his career was against people who weren't, just
Farmers.
debuting,
Literally
16 and
farmers.
0, fighting people against
Literally goat
people
herders.
that are working out of tire
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah. He's fighting against the fucking shepherds of Dagestan, just smoking people. Yeah, it's fucking insane. Well, anyway, brother, I appreciate you coming through, showing love. I appreciate you coming through with a good question too. Some good questions, good little fucking talking points. Yeah. Well, Dylan, I appreciate you, brother. Have a good day, bro. Let's drag in fucking El Santanella and see what he's got to say. What's good, brother? What do you got to come with, Mr. fucking El Santanella?
What's up, my man?
What's good, bro? How are you?
I don't know. Card was really good.
What'd you say? You broke up like a tiny bit in that.
No, I'm because the card was very good.
Yeah, the card was good. I think that the card was good as fuck. I think that the card was really, really good. Like, it's pretty much the perfect card. Like, when you're drawing out what you want the card to be, when you're drawing out, like, how perfect the card could be, and this fight goes this. Obviously, like, the results didn't go the way that I wanted the results to go. But apart from the results, like, if you're drawing out the fights, it's pretty much, like, perfect in terms of how you want the fights to go. Or how you want, like, in terms of, like, KOs and subs and everything.
I think, like, topuria is unbeatable at that weight class. Like, nobody's even close.
Yeah, he is. Right, he's. We were talking about it, bro. I've been talking about it with a few of the boys, just talking about what is the path to beating him? What is the path to beating Topuria? I'm not sure that there is a path. I'm not sure that there's many people all time in history that could actually do it.
You need, like, Topuria is gonna make the read, and he's gonna catch your chin.
Yeah.
So you need to stop him before he makes the read. So you need someone to level change, or someone technical enough and powerful enough to stop him before he gets going. So you need an Islam Makhachev who can submit him on the ground, or I don't know.
What you're saying is you need somebody to stop his rhythm. You need somebody to do that to him. You need someone who's got an elite level jab, is what I'm hearing. You need somebody who's got a good jab that anytime he tries to load up, that jab is just there 24/7, just poking at you.
I mean, without Islam, who else? Like, Arman does not have a submission threat. And the thing is, I don't see him wrestling him for 25 minutes because Topuria is a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
Like, you need to stop him.
Yeah. It's the one thing, we haven't seen Arman's chin really tested. Like, Arman did take shots from Charles Oliveira and didn't really look that bad. Charles Oliveira actually had him in trouble when they started to grapple. But, like, we haven't really seen him be in all that much trouble on the feet when people are actually trying to hit him. It's more when he's it's more like in submissions against Mateusz Gamrot. He nearly got out wrestled against Islam. He got out wrestled a little bit. But I'm interested to know, can like an actual 155er's chin, because although I love Charles, his chin is most definitely not his strong suit. Like, Charles's biggest weakness is his chin. So can a legit 155er with a legit great chin be able to keep him and, like, not get KO'd by him?
I would say Charles' biggest weakness is his defense.
Yeah, that too.
Is his striking.
Yeah.
That's why I knew what was gonna happen, but it still hurts, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I knew Topuria was gonna probably TKO him, but not like that.
Yeah, that was gross. That was disgusting. It was hard to watch. It was fucking hard to watch for me, brother, where I'm sitting there and I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, he just got sent to the actual shadow realm. Like, he just got...
I was thinking, yeah.
Like, bro, I didn't know he was gonna wake up. To be honest, I was pretty happy that he woke up just that fast. Because like when he got KO'd originally, and especially that like he took the first shot, he's out after the first shot. Second shot hits him, I'm like, damn, holy fuck. And then the ground and pound too, where I'm like, I just hope Charles is
Super
okay.
necessary. Yeah, super necessary.
Yeah. And for somebody, for Ilia to be like, oh yeah, I like the guy. I hated fighting Charles because he's such a nice, friendly guy. I was like, bro, you could see he was out, bro. You could have walked away. You didn't have to hit him at the end, dude. You didn't have to ground and pound the guy.
Man, he will kill Patty.
Yeah, I think he kills Patty. You sound a little bit like Ilia Topuria. Like when you talk, like when you say it right there, you have like the same kind of mannerisms as he does. Where are you from? Are you from Spain?
I'm not from Spain. I'm from Latin America.
Latin America, yeah, it does kind of make sense. It's that like Spanish speaking. It makes me feel like I'm fucking talking. It makes me. It's like I'm reliving the press conference right now. When you say like he will kill him for sure, it's like damn. You know, fucking 1 for 1.
I'm gonna knock him out in the first round. I think Topuria is in the top 10.
Top 10 all time.
Yeah, I think he's in the top 10 all time. I think he beats Arman. He cements himself in the top 10. Because to me, the quality of names in the modern era just surpasses longevity.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I think that like quality over quantity to a certain point. Where like there's some things where I look at it and I'm like, DJ has 11 defenses. You can't have 2 defenses and be putting yourself over DJ because quality over quantity. But at a certain point, if you get to 6 or 7, if you get to 5 defenses, or you get 4 elite defenses, kind of like Topuria has, like there's a certain point where quality does come in much over quantity.
Yeah, I mean, with the DJ situation, I think if Pantoja gets like 2 more defenses, he's the 125 pound guy.
Yeah, it should be the 125 pound guy. I agree too. I'm agreeing with a lot of shit you're saying.
Yeah. And if he beats Merab, which he doesn't want to go
he's not, I don't like that fight for him anyway. I really don't like that fight for him anyway, because I think to myself, like Merab is just too big. It's kind of like Merab going up to 145. Like, I don't really want Merab to go up to 145 because Merab is too big. Or Merab's too small for 145. It's kind of the same as Pantoja. Like, that 10-pound difference is huge because Pantoja's not the biggest 125er. So like he's cutting 40 pounds to make 125. So I think that double champ shot he just shouldn't do it. It'd be bad for his career.
Like when you made the video about when you go up to double champ, it doesn't go your way.
Yeah.
Most of the time is because the champions in the weight class below that have that physical advantage lose it when going up.
Yeah.
So it's very hard for them to be as dominant.
Yeah, no, I think that a ton of people struggle with that because like you're not as strong, your power is not as good. Essentially, whatever you're best at the division that you're good at, unless it's like jiu-jitsu or something where like there's a huge skill gap no matter how big you are. Like if you knock everybody out, you probably won't knock everybody out at the next division. If you can out-wrestle and out-strength everybody, you probably won't be able to do that at the next division. And that's just kind of like that kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah. Talking about Topuria, who do you think is next? Like, I know they put Patty on the cage, but Dana said that...
Yeah, Dana said that they don't think that they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Which...
So what do you think it'll be?
I'd agree with. I don't think they should do that fight next. I don't think it makes sense for them to do that fight next. But... the Islam fight's the only fight I want to see. If I'm being completely real, if I'm being honest, the Islam fight is the only fight that I want to see. I don't really care about seeing any other fight. Like, the Arman fight, cool. Could Arman win that fight? Yes. The Dustin fight, cool. Could Dustin win that fight? Yes. Or, well, no, Dustin couldn't. Actually, yeah, no, Dustin couldn't even win that fight. Justin couldn't win that fight. Paddy, there's a multiverse where Paddy wins the fight. Maybe. I could, like, with enough promotion... Yeah, with enough promotion from the UFC, I could see myself saying that he could win the fight. But, like, it's really only the Islam fight. That's really the only fight that I want to see. That's it.
Like, it's the true pound for pound number 1 versus pound for pound number 2. And I think if it's at 155, I think Topuria beats Islam. I really do.
I will agree with you as soon as Islam Makhachev goes up to 170. Because I think with Islam Makhachev going up to 170, I think that he will like he'll put on muscle to go up to 170, and if he has to cut that muscle, he needs to cut more weight to try to get down to 155. Cutting enough weight to affect your chin is a terrible recipe if you're dealing with ilia topuria.
Nah.
That's just not what you want to do.
Like, even if he didn't move up, I think Ilya would still beat Islam.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Like, Volkanovski was able to drop you. Like, Ilya would fucking kill you.
Yeah, but also like Islam nearly submitted Volkanovski
Nearly.
and KO'd him in the
not
second
sure.
fight with a head kick.
Yeah, but the second fight.
Yeah, the second fight was kind of bullshit, short notice. Yeah, but I think that I don't think it's crazy to say that Ilya beats him at 55 or at 70. I don't think that's crazy at all. But I do think that I don't know. I think Islam, if he goes up to 170 and tries to come back down, he loses. At 170, Islam Makhachev wins. And I think if Islam stayed at 155 for another fight against Ilya, I think he wins that fight. It's close though.
Like, Islam is in a very tough spot because you gave up your belt. Now you have a fucking missile in the 155-pound division.
Yeah.
And you have a tough fight in JDM. And if you lose that fight, man, you're in a really tough spot.
Yeah, you're in a terrible spot as soon as you lose that fight.
Like,
Yeah, because you can't go back down.
The fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't go back down. You don't want to sit there and be a contender 170. So yeah, he's in a tough spot. But anyway, El Santanella, I appreciate you coming through. I see all the fucking love you show in the videos and the live stream and the watch parties and everything. So I appreciate you coming through, showing love. And yeah, have a good weekend. Shit. I hope that you're consoled by the Charles Oliveira loss, bro. Thank you for calling in, brother.
Like,
Appreciate
yeah.
Keep going. You're good. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, like, I like Charles Oliveira, but I already like, I knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. It's a tough one. But I appreciate you, brother. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you the next watch party.
See ya.
And then last person I'm dragging in, let's drag in BKJ really quick. Let's see what BKJ's got to say. BKJ, what do you got to say, brother?
Harry, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's good, bro? How are you?
Doing phenomenal. The card was amazing last night, you know?
Yeah, UFC might be back. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't feel like I've wasted my time, you know?
Yeah. Like a lot of the fucking fight nights.
I know, dude. You know, sometimes you just watch the Apex cards alone on a Saturday night, and you're like, damn, what am I doing?
Jesus Christ, yeah. Some of them are tough, bro. Some of them I'm sitting here and I'm like, Jesus, bro, like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, I need to do something else.
Like, your friends are out right now and you're watching Amanda Ribas fight at like 1 in the night. You know what I mean? But so let me glaze Ilya for a minute, brother.
Okay. A lot of Ilya glaze today, man.
I know. I think it's I think it's well deserved. Listen,
it is warranted.
I used to hate this guy. And I rooted against him in every single fight. I rooted against him versus Volk. I rooted against him versus Max. Against Charles as well, because I love those guys, man. But I've seen the light, bro. I've seen the light. I think that this guy is I think he's a top 5 UFC fighter of all time. I think that he's gonna remain undefeated until he retires, unless he really like stretches out his career, maybe even past like 5 years, right?
Okay.
And I think that he beats Islam.
Wow. Okay. You're coming with a lot.
Do you agree with any of the things?
Coming with a lot. Top 5 all time right now for me? No. I think he's top 5 all time. I think that could he become top 5 all time? Absolutely. The Islam Makhachev one we were just talking about, it's kind of a weird one. I think it really depends when and where it happens. At 170, I think Islam Makhachev wins. At 155, if Islam doesn't fight at 170 and doesn't have to go like 170 and cut back down, I think Islam probably wins at 155. But if Islam goes up to 170, cuts weight, comes back down, I think then is the opportunity where Ilia Topuria will win that fight. If they take that fight, then Ilia Topuria will win that fight. So I think that there's a way that he does it. Ilia Topuria could absolutely beat Islam Makhachev. The top 5 all-time one I don't really agree with. I just think he can get there, but he's not there right now. And then what was the last one?
Sorry, go on. Sorry to interrupt. Go on.
No. You're good. What was the last one that you said?
The last one I said he was going to remain undefeated for a while.
Undefeated. Do I think he's going to remain undefeated for his entire career or for a while?
For a while, like at least the next 5 years or so.
Wow. I think that my take would be Ilia Topuria is not in the UFC in 3 years, rather than staying undefeated. So I could definitely see him. I could definitely see him staying undefeated. He just seems like a guy that's kind of like Khabib in my eyes, where it's like he's just gonna retire. Like, he's just gonna randomly be like, yeah, I don't really want to fight anymore, and just retire.
No, I could definitely see that. I think that he has like achieved superstardom to like such a quick extent, sort of
Yeah.
like McGregor, where he's gonna. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of just loses motivation. I don't
Yeah.
think he's gonna like completely like just become a crash out like McGregor, but I
Or
could see
takes
him
a
just,
big
like,
boxing
taking off.
fight somewhere with like
Oh, yeah,
fucking
no, for sure.
Gervonta Davis. Like, I think that the Ilia like boxing angle is probably more convincing than the Conor McGregor one. Like, seeing Ilia Topuria go up against Gervonta Davis or one of those like top tier high level boxers, Bud Crawford, if he wants to fight at 45 or 55 or whatever. I think that that's more convincing, more interesting than having Conor McGregor do it.
100%. That does make more sense. You know, he's like a boxer style fighter,
Mhm.
whereas McGregor is just like a karate style striker. But here's the thing, right? Let me get back to the top 5 thing.
Yeah.
I would say that Islam Makhachev is already like a top 5 fighter of all time, which is not crazy to say.
No, I don't think it. Ooh, top 5 fighter of all time, I think is kind of crazy. Top 5 fighter of all time, I think is kind of crazy.
Who do you have above Islam? Like, you cannot have Mighty Mouse above Islam. You can't have Silva
Or Islam.
above Islam.
Islam or Ilia?
Yeah.
Islam. Yeah.
Islam.
Islam's not crazy. Islam's not crazy. I think
Islam's not
Ilia is kind
crazy,
of crazy.
right?
Islam's not crazy. No. Islam's not crazy.
Islam's not crazy, right? But if like it's not crazy to say that Islam is a top 5 fighter of all time. Take Islam's best wins. Ilia basically has them. You know, like Islam's best win, like arguable best win of all time is Volkanovski, right? I think that Ilia like beat Volk in actually more of a dominant fashion if you think about it. And I know people are gonna say, "Oh, he was coming off the knockout loss, blah blah blah." Yes, but like, come on, he's not tanking the shot which knocked him out, whether or not he was knocked out previously. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's kind of a bad excuse. Especially now you see him beat a prime Max Holloway, a really good version of Charles Oliveira, right? Islam beat Charles Oliveira. Ilia beat Charles Oliveira more dominantly. You know? I still think that Islam overall he's above Ilia, obviously, but it's not. I don't think it's crazy to say that Ilia is in the top 5. Like I know Jones is there and GSP is there, and if Islam is there, who's 4 and 5? You know, like I think
4 and
Ilia could be
5,
up there.
like the top 4 for me are pretty much locked. Where you have like Jones, Anderson Silva, GSP, DJ. I think those top 4 are locked just because they have so many defenses. They've been so dominant for so long. I think that number 5 spot is a little bit up for grabs. I put it as Volkanovski right now. I think you can put it as Volkanovski. You can put it as Aldo. You can put it as Islam. Like, there's a few guys you can put them down there as. The thing that I'd push back on with the Ilia being top 5. A lot of Ilia's wins could have question marks on them. Like, if you're looking at it through a negative lens, yeah, which I think that, like, I don't look at them like this, but the Volkanovski win, Volkanovski was coming short notice off a KO that he should have never been coming off of. And even he said after the fight that he was dealing with mental health and all of that different type of stuff, and that's why he came back. Then you look at the Max Holloway fight. It's Max Holloway who went up to 155, put on a lot of weight, bulked a lot of weight to get up to 155, and then came back down to 145, which is proven to just like completely fuck up your body. And like the success rate of doing that is fucking like 5% or something. It's absolutely terrible inside the UFC. And then the Charles Oliveira win. Charles Oliveira is nearly the perfect matchup for Ilia Topuria, where it's like someone that stands straight, comes forward, walks forward, hands down a lot of the time, and is super hittable. So I think that you can't put that question mark over the matchups. Why I would push back on Ilia being top 5, because I don't believe all of that, but I think that you can, like there is question marks over them. I think that Conor McGregor gets a lot of praise for the Jose Aldo wins, yeah? Or for the Jose Aldo win, the KO.
Yeah.
Or even, like, Justin Gaethje still gets a lot of praise for that first Tony Ferguson win.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Max Holloway doesn't get as much praise as Conor McGregor does for knocking out Jose Aldo. He just doesn't get it. Volkanovski doesn't get as much praise as Conor McGregor does for beating Jose Aldo. It's the same with like anybody that beat Tony Ferguson, like Charles beating Tony Ferguson. Charles doesn't get that much praise for the Tony Ferguson win. It's because to be the first guy to beat them is significant. That is significant. And for Islam to be, because Islam, I feel, did beat a prime Volkanovski. The Islam that he fought in, or the Volkanovski that Islam fought in Australia is prime Volkanovski. But the second one, short note, is a little bit different, but just that first win, it means a lot more in my eyes than the second win does. So I think that like a Volkanovski off a 2-loss streak is very different to a Volkanovski that's on a huge win streak that is coming off the best performance of his entire career.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I think you made some very good points. I just feel that if you sort of look for flaws in like wins, I feel like you could do that to every top 5 in your top 5.
For sure.
And you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Jones
for
was
sure.
facing middleweights that are older than him. DJ was fighting guys that just came off of tough. You know, GSP, this guy went on like a 10-fight decision win streak. This guy couldn't finish fights if his life depended on
And
it.
people
You know
don't
what I
say
mean?
that. People don't say that. That
People
is
don't say
that is a
dude.
fact.
Like,
GSP on a fucking little side tangent. GSP has some of the best PR on the fucking planet, bro. Like GSP and John Jones, apart from the like outside the cage, yes, they're very, very different. Even though that there's a lot of questions about it. People say that Johnny Hendricks was on drugs, and that's why Johnny Hendricks looks so bad. As soon as they introduced USADA, GSP got the fuck out of the UFC. GSP had one more fight against a bad Bisping, and then got the fuck out of the UFC. And even if he was on drugs pre that, I don't blame him, because everybody in the UFC was. I still think right now, pretty much like over 50% of the UFC fighters are going to be on drugs. So I think
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you. If people say that, if people like say, "Oh, John Jones can't be the GOAT because he got popped," brother.
Yeah, bullshit.
GSP didn't get caught. That's the thing.
Yeah, because there was no testing. Because testing literally didn't fucking exist when he fought.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy,
bullshit,
you know. Yeah, like Mighty Mouse. I don't think Mighty Mouse was taking anything, but you know what I mean.
He could have been. Yeah, he fucking could have been. Like, who knows?
We do not know. We don't know, and like it would make sense for them to take it at that point, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a side tangent. I feel that like GOAT lists in general, the way that people do them, including yourself, is like there's like a nostalgia bias a little bit. And the thing is, there's also a huge like preference or importance based on the number of title defenses. Like, dude, there will be nobody in history that's gonna beat like the Mighty Mouse or John Jones record for title defenses. You know why? Because UFC in the modern era, nobody gets a title shot like after like 3 fights or like 2 fights the way they were back then. Maybe Alex Pereira is the only one I could think of, but besides that, nobody's getting a title shot. So I don't think that Ilia could ever equal or beat any of those guys' like title defense records or anything like that. So we should stop looking at it that way. You know what I mean? I just think that we should look at wins and win streaks in and of themselves rather than, you know, what they mean in terms of like title defenses or what, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So when you do that and you see this guy knocked out 3 legends, right? This is
Mozo, you're
best
absolutely
3-win
tweaking,
streak
brother.
in UFC history. Like, I cannot think of a better one. There is a serious like conversation to be had that this guy is a top 5 fighter of all time. He's shown no flaws. I don't think he's ever lost an exchange besides that Jai Herbert fight, and like I think he might have lost the first round against Volkanovski.
Yeah.
We're talking like Khabib
And the first round
levels
against Holloway.
Yeah, we're talking like Khabib levels of dominance here.
Yeah.
Except he's like actually like finishing every single fight. Khabib, he was kind of a decision guy until about like the time he retired, where he was finishing guys. Ilia's finishing everybody, dude. You know.
I agree with I agree with a lot of shit that you just said. Some of the things that I disagree with there. I think that fighters absolutely can do what John Jones and DJ did. It's harder now, and I think the bracket is lowered. Like 11 defenses in the 2010s is like 7 defenses now, is like 6 defenses now, depending on how good the people are. I'd probably say closer to like 7 or 8 defenses. But like you can do that. The problem now is UFC fighters get too rich. They get too rich. Where like John Jones back then had to fight a shit ton not only because he wanted money, but because he wasn't getting paid millions of dollars per fight. Up until like that DC fight, where he was definitely getting paid a fucking shitload of money for that DC fight. Like John Jones was not getting millions and millions of dollars, and it's also like the longevity. I feel like UFC fighters now just don't have that longevity, where it's like that's possibly because, one, you see too many different matchups now. Like, although we can say Islam and Arman and Mateusz Gamrot, they're wrestlers, like when you get into like the super nitty gritty, the way that they wrestle, the takedowns that they like, the entries that they use, they're all like completely different fighters. So I think that, like, with how well-rounded and how good people are, it's hard to have that longevity. But that's like that's the reason why John Jones is the greatest of all time for me, because through all of the evolutions of mixed martial arts, he's still the best fighter in his division. You know what I mean? Like, all the time at 205, yes, there's some shaky wins and whatever, but like, he is still the best fighter at 205 for all of those. From like 2010, for the last 15 years, John Jones has been the best fighter in his division, which makes him one of the greatest of all time for me. I think that putting him top 5, like, it's not crazy, but I think he definitely needs more defenses. He has what, 1 defense right now? The Max Holloway defense is his only defense. And I think that, like, when you're going prime for prime with people, like, you can only beat who they put in front of you. It's not DJ's fault. He was so much better than 125. It's not GSP's fault. He's so much better than that 170-pound division that nobody even comes close to him. It's not Anderson Silva's fault that everybody at 185 is that much worse than him. But it's also the reason why, like I think if, with him being double champ already, he only really needs 3 or 4 defenses to be in that top 5 bracket, at least. Probably like 3 defenses if we're being real.
I think for sure that if he gets 3 more defenses, it's like you can't even. It's not even a debate at that point that Ilia's top 5 to be top 3, depending on who he. And yeah, I think just to add on to that, right? One thing I said, I think he's gonna be undefeated for a while, and the next person to beat him isn't even ranked yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
might not even be in the UFC yet.
Right? Yeah. In the UFC, if you think about it, right? Remember when Volkanovski was at the peak and he beat Max Holloway dominantly.
Yeah.
Fought Islam, came back and beat Yair dominantly.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, oh shit, who's the next guy? And at that point, I don't even think Ilia was ranked yet. Was he? I don't think so. He Ilia.
Yeah, my idea of the rankings that far is fucking terrible.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I think that currently nobody in the UFC lightweight top 15 could beat him. The only person I give like a solid chance to is Islam. Maybe Arman if he just nut hugs him for like 3 rounds, really gasses out Ilia.
Yeah.
Maybe. So I don't know. Like what I'm trying to say is, and Lucas Tracy said this in his video, and I agree with him completely. I think he's like the best thing to happen to the UFC in the last maybe 5 to 10 years. Because this is like McGregor level of superstar potential. He is finishing fights. He is relatively active. He is talking trash and promoting.
Yeah. I wonder how big he is is he super big in like Mexico? Because I know that like that there's like a lot of fighters that like he doesn't, for some reason he doesn't, like he hasn't crossed over to a European audience at least. Like there's a lot of guys that I talk to, well, to be fair, pretty much everyone that I talk to watches the UFC, to be honest. But like if I ask my fucking sister who ilia topuria is, she's not going to know who he is. Like he hasn't got that like kind of mainstream crossover. But I'm wondering, is it because he's not from Europe or he's not American or something like that? And is it like, does he have that kind of pull in Mexico or in Spain or in Spanish speaking countries or Portuguese speaking countries? Is ilia topuria like a household name everywhere among there? Because I feel like he's not quite there right now with the UFC.
You know what? Like they said that Ilia's fight that happened last night equaled like some of the Real Madrid Champions League game numbers in terms of viewership.
Yeah.
So I think he is like pretty damn popular in Spain. However, I think what's setting him apart from McGregor, or like setting him behind McGregor in terms of fame, is he needs to have like an iconic rivalry. That's what he's lacking right now. He's
the Islam fight could be that too if Dana makes it.
I know, man. I know, and I know that like like if he gets matched up against Islam, watch how the American fans are gonna turn against Islam. Like it's gonna like whether
That'd be
you
pretty
like it or
funny.
not. Like
That'd be pretty
you know what
funny.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's gonna turn into another like McGregor Khabib type situation. I could bet. And also maybe potentially his fight with Patty could be huge. Depending on
Could
how
be.
far they go with like the trash talk and
And like that all depends on that fight has the makings to be a fucking humongous fight and a great rivalry. If Paddy's good. If Paddy's good, that could definitely be a great rivalry, a big fight. But my kind of like they hate each other, but it's kind of like, oh shit, I fucking hate this billionaire, you know what I mean? Well, it doesn't really matter because you're not going to fucking see the billionaire. He's on fucking private jets, you know what I mean? He's doing all this different type of stuff. Like, I think that they could just be in such a different class, such a different level, that like Ilia Topuria can be hated by Paddy Pimblett, but Paddy Pimblett's not good enough to get to his level. He's not good enough to get to the point where him against Ilia is actually a good rivalry. Because the thing about that, like John Jones DC, great rivalry, because although John Jones was the greatest fighter on the planet at the time, there was a very real chance he lost to DC. There was a very, very real chance DC could beat him. I'm not sure if Paddy Pimblett has that same kind of like, you know.
Yeah, what Ilia Topuria needs right now is a Nate Diaz in his career. You know,
Yeah.
like somebody that tests him, where people go, "Oh shit, now this is a fight." You know, it's an intriguing. Where they
And it
hate
would
each
be him
other,
at 170. It would be him at 170.
Like
Because
maybe
that first Conor
against
fight,
Islam.
that first Conor Nate fight was 170.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why Conor lost, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Ilia definitely like I don't think he's at that McGregor level yet. He has the potential to be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we're one win away, and that's why I want the Paddy fight, and you know what I mean? Because yeah, Arman, I think on paper he deserves the fight more for the title. However, come on, man, like just can we not have fun? Like, can we not have
Yeah.
a bit of
Yeah,
silly
make
matchmaking?
big
Can we not
fights.
give him
Yeah.
a free title defense
Give
for
fucking
Ilya?
give Armin, like Dana didn't even want to give Armin the title shot anyway, so don't give it to him. Give somebody like, I don't know, give him a difficult number one contender fight, and because that Paddy fight would be huge. Like the build up, the shit talk, everything would be huge for that fight. I think it could be kind of a dud of a fight just because I think Paddy will probably actually get fucking smoked. But even seeing like the shit talk after, if Ilia Topuria KOs him, like it could be fucking fantastic. It could be huge.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. That's why I'm excited to see that. Besides that, Ilya versus Paddy, I think we don't really have much like heater matchups. I think maybe DDP versus Chimaev is a really good upcoming fight where I'm like, oh, I need to see this. Rest of them, you know what I mean? Like I don't think there's any super fights at the moment, besides Ilya versus Paddy. So I think UFC desperately needs to make it. I know Paddy doesn't deserve it, but come on, like
yeah, no, I think
I don't know what
I agree with you. I want to see fun fights. I want to see big fights.
Yeah. But like I wanna leave, but I got a question to ask you.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, what do you think is like your like most anticipated upcoming fight? Like since
has to be
on like
DDP Hamzat. That's scheduled or like fantasy. Like obviously Islam Ilya. Even when I'm thinking about it right now, I'm thinking to myself like I'm almost like dreaming thinking about it. Where I'm like the build up for that fight, the back and forth, everything would be sick for that fight. But it's like the scheduled DDP Hamzat. I think DDP Hamzat is like it's so much fun. DDP Hamzat's one of those fights you could legit think and talk about for fucking 10 hours. Like you could do 10 hours of just breakdowns of the tiny little things between both of them that both of them do really, really well. What's it for you? Let me hear your one.
100%. It's DDP Hamzat. That's like a fight where I'm like thinking about it while I'm at work or some shit. But besides that, I'm very intrigued to see Aspinall's next fight. Because if after this whole debacle, he loses his next fight, which I hope he doesn't.
Crazy. That would be fucking crazy.
Yeah, like we got friggin' Jailton Almeida over here. He just Kimura's Aspinall in the first
That
round.
would be
And I
so
know-
funny, man.
Yeah, but
John Jones
that's
would have a
kind of-
legacy day on Twitter, bro.
Oh my God, we will never hear the end of it from that guy, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, shit. One more thing I wanted to talk to you
Yeah,
about.
good.
What do you think about this whole like pound for pound debacle? Who do you think like is actually like the pound for pound like best or like top 3 or whatever?
Pound for pound
Like-
number 1, I think it's still probably Islam, although Ilia is like right on his toes. I'd go Islam 1, Ilia 2, Pantoja 3. I think they'd be my top 3. Like the third spot is really up for grabs. The top 2 I feel like are set. They're in like a tier of their own, where it's like Islam and Ilia are in their own tier. Then I feel like you almost have like a tier 2 of DDP, Merab, and Pantoja. I feel like they're like that tier 2 of any of them can be put in that number 3 spot. Nobody can say you're crazy. Nobody can say you're wrong.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they need to put respect on Pantoja's name.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to talk to you, man.
Great to talk to you, brother. I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate you showing love, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Have a good one, bro. Have a good night. All right, that's the fucking call-in show. I appreciate all the boys that came through, that called in, that showed love, that sit in the streams. I'm trying to get better at doing them. I'm trying to find out a right time to do them so we could do like every Friday or every Sunday or every, like once a week we can do the call-in shows and get them done, because I think that they are super fun to do and I do actually love doing them. So yeah, I'm trying to figure something out, trying to get better, and yeah, I hope all you boys enjoyed. I'll catch all you boys tomorrow.